When my daughter was about 3, we passed through a certain landscape which was completely barren, monocultures all around us. And she asked me, "Is this desert?" The current way we manage the land is really intensive. When we convert so many landscapes into such a desert, this is really a risk to ourselves.
As we look for ways to build a truly sustainable future, agroecology offers a flexible, powerful alternative to transform our food system. But what does agroecology actually mean on the ground?
This is what you call a socio-ecological system, where you want to produce, but you also want to protect the environment you're in order to continue producing. And this is what brings together agriculture and ecology, people and the environment. It brings us together because this is the environment we come from and where we survive.
By being a social movement that is rooted on political beliefs, but also being heavily rooted on research, so rigorous science that proves how agroecology is the best solution for climate change mitigation, for biodiversity conservation, and for socioeconomic resilience.
So the goal of Agroecology-TRANSECT was to measure the performances of agroecology in different locations and understand the conditions for its upscaling at European level.
We want to learn what agroecological practices bring for climate, biodiversity and farm socio-economic resilience, but we also want to learn about how we learn together. An important principle of agroecology is co-creation of knowledge.
We chose the name Innovation Hub to demonstrate that this is a meeting point between people, between stakeholders, with scientists, where together we are exploring innovation, and particularly societal innovation, economic innovation, and alternative paths towards sustainability. What we want to see happening is that innovation hubs and those processes of interaction continue happening after this project is over.
Especially the younger generation and the future practitioners, all those people who will work around farming. I think it's important that they have been trained in this project to really understand what is at stake and how to embrace agroecology.
But we also want to see a change in the enabling environment so that the policies will support the expansion beyond the end of the project.
What the agroecology movement is requesting is that the European Union pays more attention to the needs of small-scale farmers while maintaining the value in local communities instead of supporting large-scale agribusinesses, landowners, large corporations that are currently gathering most of the investment of the Common Agricultural Policy, for instance, of the European Union.
We've seen that a lot of policymakers are talking a lot about food sovereignty, but then the question to be asked is how do you plan to achieve this? And I think agroecology is part of the answer, and that's what our results will tell them.
Everybody is agreeing that we want to have healthy food. There's a consensus that you need to shorten value chains. There's a consensus that we want to see farmers being supported to be more resilient, but that's not what the current policies are doing. So if there's a mismatch between European policies and what societal demands and farmers' demands are, then we need to close this gap.
We're in a situation of crisis. We've seen droughts over the summer. You see fires that destroy everything. You have hurricanes, huge hurricanes, and this is a direct impact of climate change. Farming can contribute to mitigating the effect of climate change, but not any kind of farming. Farming systems that can absorb the shock, that reintroduce biodiversity, that store carbon in the soil, and agroecology is part of the answer.
Significant barriers still stand in the way of a sustainable future, from outdated policies to a lack of local facilities. But the work of Agroecology-TRANSECT across Europe has shown that a different future for farming is within reach. We've clearly demonstrated that through shared knowledge, practical actions, and a collective will, we can dismantle these barriers. Change is not just necessary, it is entirely possible.